Hello, beautiful people of the internet. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Jess, and on this channel, I like to talk about all kinds of shit. Who knows? Like self-growth, loving yourself, spirituality, law of attraction, etc., 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 as I usually say. But anyways, I'm here to do a car talk with you guys today because, yeah. So, I am currently in my car because I am home on break, and I'm in college, so I'm home on break, and my room is literally right next to my mom's. It's
weird. There's like an apartment upstairs. It's not really an apartment, like a small room that's like 3 rooms connected, which is like a bathroom, a room, and another room. And the only thing between my room and my mom's room is like a gate. So I basically, she works from home, so
that's why I wore my car today. So that might be what I title this video, like car talk or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, yeah, so there's just been something on my mind lately that I just got the idea for a video today to do, and I just want to talk about my experience with shadow work and how my therapist does shadow work versus how many other people do shadow work, and just my experience with shadow work in general. And maybe this will help some of you who are getting ready. Sorry, there was a wasp, I think, on outside of my car. Anyways, I'm deathly terrified of wasps, by the way. Anyways, so yeah, maybe if I talk about my experience with shadow work, those of you who may be going through it will have some help, and maybe this will add some value, bring some value to some of you. So I just want to go ahead and say, as you can tell, my skin is not looking her best. She is healing, but the shadow work that I've been doing for the past 2 weeks or so has really kicked me in the rear end. It stomped on me while I was down, but I know that it's just so I can build myself back up. So for those of you, anyways, let me get into shadow work because I will rant forever. So those of you who don't know, shadow work is basically when you take time for yourself to go inward and go down into the deep depths of your subconscious mind and figure out what emotions you've been repressed experiences, all these different things that may be coming up for you as patterns that you see in people or situations. Like you may keep noticing you attract toxic boyfriends, or you keep attracting married men in my situation. Anyways, I digress. There's like different patterns that we experience through life, and I think to get into the more metaphysical side of it, or the more esoteric side of it, we are all eternal spiritual beings having a human experience. And with this experience, the whole purpose, I think, of being on earth is just so we can truly realize who we truly are, which is that eternal spiritual being, that we are all one, and this big awakening. I think that happens eventually. I've got glimpse of it, like meditating and things, but I haven't had the full dun 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 awakening yet. Like that big moment. I haven't had that yet. But I do understand that we are eternal spiritual beings, and I understand the principles of it, and that we are all one, that all the atoms that make us up vibrate at different frequencies, and that's how we can attract things. And anyways, it's so much. There's so many videos on it from like Leora Alexandria. I love her. Or Leora Alexandra, I think that's how you say it. She's amazing. Love her. You can go watch some of her videos on it. She explains it wonderfully. Erin Dowdy's another one who's a really good one to explain those things. But anyways, yes, we are all, and the whole purpose of this thing is to have fun and to enjoy it and to become one with your spiritual, with spirit, and yeah. And then just come back and do it all over again when you reincarnate, if you believe in that. Anyways, that's what I believe. And like I said, they can explain it much better than me. But basically, how shadow work plays a part in this is shadow work is what helps you get. So basically, there are different things. So there's a scale of consciousness that Erin Dowdy talks about. If I can find a picture, I'll put it here. Basically, it's like basically emotions that you feel when you're on different vibrations. So you've got like fear, anger, pride, then you get up into like neutrality, acceptance, love, others, joy, whatever, and then in like enlightenment is like the top vibration. And so the vibrations is like what you're currently vibrating at, and emotions can have a big sense on the atoms that make up your entire body. So how shadow work happens is you've got these, how you stay in those lower vibrations is because you've got different emotions maybe from the past that are repressed down, that maybe you're not allowing to fully be yourself. You're not allowing yourself to fully express those emotions, whether it be you're protecting yourself from pain, or there's all belief systems that you have deeply ingrained in you, all these different things. So basically it's not about like climbing a ladder when you're raising your vibration. It's about letting go so that way you can naturally float up the scale of consciousness. So yeah, I know that's a lot, but that's how shadow work plays a whole role in it. So I'm not sure if my therapist, to get into therapy, I'm not sure my therapist really knows that's exactly what she's doing is shadow work, but how my therapist does it, which if you're not in therapy, girl, boy, non-binary, you better get in it, because therapy will literally, okay, I say this, therapy will help you understand how to deal with your traumas, because everybody goes through traumas in their life. I've said this before on my podcast, but everybody goes through traumas, so it's your responsibility to deal with it, and therapy is a great way to deal with that. Yeah. So anyways, therapy, my therapist, the way my therapist does it is my therapist explains you go in and you meet the different parts of yourself, that there are many different parts that make up who we are. Like there's a childhood part, and there's literally an infinite number of parts that make up you. And so there's parts of you, like what I went to her for originally was my eating addiction / binge eating. I had episodes of both of those throughout my life, and they each came from different parts of me that was going through pain, or that, you know, skipped meals during childhood and these different things. So going in and meeting those different parts of you, and then giving them the love and the acceptance, and just listening to them and accepting them for as a different part of you. And then as you go deeper and deeper in this work, and as you go deeper and deeper into understanding these different parts of you and meeting all these different parts of you that you've suppressed, or that you can meet why they do what they do and why they take over, and why anyways, you come to find out that all of them are there to protect you. All of your parts are there to protect you or assist you or make you feel good in some type of way, whether that be even if it's short term or long term. So our parts have different ways of making us feel good or blocking out pain or those different things. So, but when you go in and meet them, you can give them new tasks, which is, like I said, this is her entire process, my therapist. And what she, I don't think she knows it's shadow work, but the next time I talk to her, I'm gonna tell her about how I think that it's a deep form of shadow work after I've been doing some. So yeah, so over the past 2 weeks, it's really been, I've gotten better over the past like 2 or 3 days, which is, I think, is why my skin is clearing up. But for a while, as I was just starting to meet some of these parts, I was just really I don't want to say depressed, because it wasn't like that. It was more so just like defeated. Like, how can I get rid of them? But over the couple, over days of literally, I was spending like multiple hours in meditation. Like I spent 2 hours this morning meeting like 3 or 4 new parts of me. But it's so healing. Like I know it can seem overwhelming. And I think that was the big issue for me like a week ago, is it just seems, I just want to say a disclaimer real quick. I've been doing shadow work for months and months, but ever since I started with this therapist that I've started with, it's been accelerated over the past couple weeks. And not only that, I was in a really good place for a few months. Like I was living on my own, just me and Pixie, which she's in the back seat right now asleep. She's so cute. So I was in a really good place, just me and her living it all on. So there wasn't really many outside stressors, I would say, to help trigger these different feelings. And when I got home, which I love my family, but a lot of them aren't, most of them, my mom's in the process of awakening, but it's really not it's complicated. Anyway, so when I get home, there's all these triggers everywhere, which triggers can be good. Triggers triggers help show you what you need to heal from. So yeah, so when I got home a few weeks ago, it just really hit me, like all these triggers were going off, and I think that's why my face broke out. Not to mention switching water pH levels 3.5 hours away. It's gonna be different water. So yeah, she's healing. She's beautiful regardless. I love her regardless. I just want her to be healthy and glowy. Anyways, sorry, I keep going off on tangents, but you guys should be used to this by now if you've watched the past couple videos. Anyways, so yeah, so it's really been, the growth has really been exponential in the past couple weeks. And like I said, just being able to spend more time in meditation, since I'm not going from class to class to class and then jiu-jitsu and then back to class and homework and all those different things. So I've really been able to work on the inner work that I need to work on. And it's been really amazing. And the past 2 days I've actually felt really good. Today, after doing the work today, meeting new ones and being triggered by that can really bring about sad emotions. But then I just went and worked out and really let the endorphins, I'm not gonna lie, that is such a good way to like raise your vibe, is to like really make sure you're moving your body, because the suppressed emotions, there's this hit theory basically that the subconscious mind is your body, and you can feel when emotions get trapped in different parts of your body. I tend to feel it in my upper neck and like, what are these called? Traps? I think they're called traps. This right here, anyways, or the lower part of your neck, like where your neck starts to branch out into your back. That is where I carry a lot of stress, and I also sometimes can carry it in my digestive system when I'm eating to suppress emotions. So yeah, so moving my body and like just taking the time to really love myself. And I listen to affirmations while I work out, which are like, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am wealthy, I am happy, I am successful, I am one with the universe, I am one with everyone, I am a divine being, I am divine femininity. All these different affirmations I listen to while I work out. And it really helps me get in my body and to release any tension that I may be holding in any of my chakras, in any of the energy centers in my body, in any place where I just might be holding. So it can be really, really helpful to move and help move that energy around. So that really helped me today get out of that mindset. But I know yesterday was freaking amazing. I was just like on cloud 9, 10 out of 10, just like floating, feeling one with the universe, like completely one with everyone, with the trees, with the grass, with the ground, with the dogs, everything, just feeling one with everything, feeling one with the universe, feeling really backed and supported by the universe, feeling completely fulfilled and abundant. And I woke up this morning and I was like, I want to go back. 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 I was so upset this morning. And then I reminded myself that yesterday may have been a taste of like what life is going to be like 100% all the time. As soon as not as soon, because I think shadow work happens throughout your entire life. But I think that shadow work does happen throughout your entire life. And I think that it never stops, because there's always things. It might slow down, but I think it's always good to go check in and keep relationships with those different parts of yourselves, so that way you can make sure they're staying healthy, even if it's just checking in with them for 5 minutes in meditation a day, and just maintenance of making sure that you're healthy and happy and that they're thriving within you. So yeah, and making sure that those patterns, you can create new patterns. And I think that eventually you'll outgrow those patterns and have to build new ones, but it's just the process and it's just life. And in order to live your absolute best life, I think it's necessary. I think shadow work is necessary. And it's just been so healing and so amazing the past couple days. But anyways, yeah, so I woke up this morning again feeling like, man, I want to feel like that now. Like I want to feel like that always. And after my 2-hour meditation and meeting new pieces of myself, I realized that that's how I was naturally feeling yesterday, and this is how I'm naturally feeling today. And it's okay to feel these lower vibe emotions, as long as you don't sit and waller over them. It's okay to feel them. That's how you release them. That's how you allow them to run their course, because if you suppress them, then they get caught in your chakras, and they get caught in the energy centers, and they get caught in your subconscious. And so if you'll just allow them to flow, they will pass. They will pass. And the good vibes and the good emotions, and that will all come back. That's all. You can always tap into emotions, but I would say don't try to control to the point of, I would say don't try to control at all. Just allow the emotions that come up to flow out of you and to just flow. And understand that it's a part of the human experience to feel these lower vibe emotions, and just try not to give so much meaning to them. Like, oh man, I'm feeling bad. And I think that's part of the toxicity when it comes to getting into the spiritual, this awakening process. And it can really cause you to start feeling like there's two things it can do that can be quite toxic. And one of those is getting a sense of superiority over everyone else, because you're like, oh, I'm feeling all these high vibes emotions. Oh, you're a low vibe person. No, we are all one. And if someone else is feeling that way, and if you notice someone else feeling that way, there's something in you vibrating at that. Otherwise, they couldn't exist within your presence. So, that's a big one, is like noticing a sense of superiority. And not that you're better, but I mean, I guess it's like a little bit of a sense like, oh, I'm enlightened. They're just not in a high vibe. And that can be really damaging. It's important to make sure you understand that everyone is a reflection of the entire outside is just a reflection of what's on the inside. So if you're noticing all these low vibe people, there's one of two things. One, there's something in you vibrating at that frequency that needs to come up and needs to work. It's a pattern that needs to play out. Two, it's a trigger that is going to resurface a pattern so you can see it and heal from it and release it. Otherwise, that person couldn't be in your presence. Or the third thing, you are vibrating at that level. So that's why you're noticing all these people vibrating at that level, because you are a nasty person yourself. Nasty, I say nasty, it's not necessarily bad. It's just, if that's where you are, that's where you are. But if you notice behaviors that you think are nasty, that you're like, oh, that's just rude. Like, why would you be nasty like that? Like, don't. And then it could be because you're vibrating at that level. So, but usually I think that's less of the case, because you don't tend to notice it if you are vibrating at that level. I think mostly it's going to be a pattern that's trying to play out, and it's going to be a trigger for you, so that way you can see what in you needs to be released. It's a trigger for an emotion that needs to get out and needs to play out for this human experience. So yeah, there was something else I was going to say, but I can't remember now. It was from that little tangent that I just did. Oh yeah, two toxic things. The two toxic things that could come from being on your spiritual journey. That was one of them. Feeling like superior to everyone because you're spiritually enlightened. Or two, the second thing I would say is repressing bad emotions, because you're like, oh man, I don't want to feel these because I don't want to attract these bad things. And if I'm feeling bad emotions, that means I'm bad. So you repress those bad emotions and you don't allow yourself to feel those bad emotions. But I think, and I think a lot of the spiritual people in the spiritual community and in the awakened community, and I think they would agree, it's more important for you to feel those emotions. Do not suppress them. That's something I just learned today. Like, this is an epiphany I had this morning in my 2 hours of meditation. It was like, I'm sorry I keep saying 2 hours. Like, I'm not saying that to like get that superior thing. I'm saying it more so like I'm shocked that I sat there for 2 hours, because your girl can't focus worth a shit right now. I've been working on it, but I'm just shocked that I did that. So I just want to say, good job, Jessica. But yeah, so that's an epiphany that I had this morning that I wanted to talk to you guys about, and about how shadow work is so important. But the main aspect I want to say, to point out the whole like point of this, is like, just make sure that when you feel emotions, try to just allow them to be there. Don't give them any meaning. Don't say, oh, I'm angry right now, this is a bad emotion. Just be like, I'm angry right now, I'm feeling tension right now, and find a way to release it, or just allow it to be there and allow that anger to be there. I love you, Pixie. She's so cute. Anyways, yes, so allow that emotion to be there. Allow yourself to feel it. Really embrace it. And you'll notice it will start to fade away as you allow it to be there, and you allow it and you just sit with it, and instead of repressing it, just sit with it and allow yourself to feel it and then act accordingly. So, yes. Oh yeah, and I'm not saying to like lash out. So I'm not saying like feel anger and then dote over it and then you're like punch someone in the face. I'm not saying do that. I'm just saying maybe don't try it, like, because I know for me, eating is a way that I suppress emotion. So like if sadness comes up or if disappointment comes up or something, I'll just be like, okay, I'm hungry now. Even if I like just ate an hour ago, I'm hungry now, let's eat. Instead of doing that, you just sit with it and just close your eyes and maybe do like a small meditation and just notice how you're feeling, notice the emotions. Because like, I know for me, I'm an Aquarius moon, so we tend to intellectualize our emotions and we try to manipulate them into being something that they're not. So like, no, I'm not going to allow myself to feel angry. I'm happy right now. I'm happy right now. I'm going to choose to be happy because I have control over my emotions and I am emotionally intelligent and I am happy right now. I am happy. When I might be in traffic wanting to cuss out the person in front of me, or honking my horn. So I would say, especially for people who have air moons, because you tend to intellectualize your emotions, I would definitely say just take the time to just feel them and let it flow and release. And yeah, so that's it for this video. I'm sorry for all the actually, I'm not sorry for the tangents because that's just me right now. I'm learning to communicate. Please be patient with me. I appreciate your patience. And yeah, so I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.